Hi, I'm Sam, the CEO of RealLinks, the employee referral platform. So RealLinks is a transformative online platform which rocket fuels employee referrals for companies by matching the best candidates in employees' networks to jobs. RealLinks has the power to make employee referrals one of the key recruitment channels for any company. The idea was born in a previous life as a lawyer when I was referred for a role and realized how beneficial it was from a candidate perspective. The main reason I took that job was because I trusted what I was hearing from the person who referred me more than the recruitment consultants that I was also dealing with at the time. Realizing that it was a key way of hiring for the other key stakeholders, the companies in terms of hiring great people, and the employees, in terms of obviously getting the referral bonus, but also attracting good people to their company. I felt that it was something that could be improved. The problem with existing referral schemes, and the reason why a lot of them struggle to get more than 10% of annual hires, comes down to a few key factors. We surveyed loads of employees, spoke to as many as possible to understand why they weren't referring people. The first key thing that came back was the fact that it's really time-consuming. Employees are really busy. They simply don't have time to go through all of their connections to find matches to participate, to refer for that particular job. Another one that came back quite a lot was no visibility of vacancies. The jobs may be listed on an intranet, but they're not exactly sure where they are, and they're not sure how they go about the referral process. And no recognition came back quite a bit, which surprised us, because obviously a lot of companies have a referral bonus. But there was a feeling that there's no recognition for the actions that employees take which lead to that referral hire. You put forward a good candidate, that candidate wasn't hired on that particular occasion, but there's no recognition for that, which means you're disincentivized to continue referring people in future. And no updates on referrals was another thing that came back quite a lot. The idea that it sort of goes into a black hole, you have no idea where your referral's gone, and again, you're disincentivized to continue referring people for roles. And often companies don't have analytics to track and improve their referrals and help them to improve them. So sort of understanding those problems enabled us to build the RealLinks solution. And I'll take you through some of the key features which basically tackle this and help employee referral schemes to improve. The key feature is the recommendation engine. So our platform syncs with employees' connections, either connections on LinkedIn, email, Facebook, matches those connections to live job vacancies, and makes referral recommendations as and when one of their connections has been matched. And those recommendations will go to the HR teams as well as the employees. The HR teams can then send referral requests for really good candidates in the referral talent pool. When employees come to referring, we make it really straightforward, really simple for them to share those jobs, removing that manual process. And we talked about the problem in relation to recognition before, and we've dealt with that via gamification, and that's like team and individual leaderboards, with referees being awarded points at each stage in the process, from the application, syncing of connections, etc. And we also provide a clear sort of portal setting out the status of referrals, so they understand exactly where the people that they've put forward sit in the process. And then we have an analytics dashboard. We basically record everything, and we can customize the dashboard for each company that we work for. But effectively, it's telling you everything you need to know about how well your referral scheme is performing across the business, and in addition, gives you that sort of clear ROI. And we integrate completely with applicant tracking systems. So all jobs are pulled from your applicant tracking system, so there's no double entry. And at the point of application, all of the jobs are pushed back into your applicant tracking system as well. We also white label the platform to company branding, so it's completely seamless for the employees. And this has huge benefits. Our platform creates this huge referral talent pool. Basically, for each employee, you have on average over 300 referral candidates. For a company of 1,000, that's over 300,000 potential candidates in your referral talent pool. Quicker time to hire. Referral candidates are 3 to 4 times more likely to be hired than non-referral candidates. Higher retention rates. Referral candidates are 39%, have a 39% better retention rate. And our platform supports diversity, which I think should be important for any organization right now. And we pseudonymize the personal information about candidates for the HR view. So you're not seeing their name, their ethnicity, their gender. It also makes the platform completely GDPR compliant. And of course, something you'll all be aware of, it's far more affordable to hire referral candidates. At an absolute minimum, it saves companies £2,300 per hire. If you consider the comparison to agencies, it's massive. So at this point, I'm going to jump into a live demo to show you how it all works. Okay, so the first thing we're seeing here is how an employee would first use the platform. So we've got single sign-on, so they don't need to worry about new login details, and you can sign in with Microsoft or Gmail, whichever you use. So once you've signed in, the first thing that employees are effectively asked to do is sync their connections with the platform. And we make it very clear to them that they're in complete control. So only they can see their contact's personal information, and they can only ever be contacted by them. HR teams can merely prompt them. We also set out the benefits to make it really clear as to why it would be beneficial for them to do it. They can sync their LinkedIn connections, their Gmail connections, Facebook, through one-click sync features, which makes it really straightforward for them. Once they've done that, I'm now going to take you to the HR view, and then we'll move to the employee view afterwards. So, first key thing is we create clear onboarding steps for the HR team, so they know exactly what they need to be doing to get the platform up and running, and you can see that on the top right-hand side of the screen. On the dashboard, we also provide those key stats, so you have a clear picture as to how well the scheme is performing. This shows you how many connections are now uploaded to the talent pool. You know, if we consider that we've all got on average over 300 connections on LinkedIn, that's sort of how I got to the stat that I was mentioning earlier, but it creates this huge referral talent pool. It shows you the number of sign-ups, the number of logins, referrals, applications, interviews, and hires. It gives you that clear picture as to how well it's going for you. I mentioned gamification before, and as we scroll down the page, you can see the employee leaderboard. In addition, we have a department leaderboard. It's up to you how you want to do this, but that competition aspect of the platform really works well in terms of keeping people engaged and keeping them coming back to the platform. So I'll take you to the part of the platform where the magic happens. So you can filter your jobs between job title, description, location, importantly. And then if we take if I could scroll down the page, that would help. The marketing manager role. So I'm now seeing from a HR view perspective that there are 14 matches that the system's identified. And that's basically like matches within, all of your employees have now synced their connections, and there are 14 matches out of all of those connections for this particular job. On the left-hand side there, you're seeing avatars. And the reason for that goes back to my point about pseudonymizing the personal information. So you're seeing what should matter, which I'll show you in a second, their experience, where they've worked, their skills. So click on this particular job, see the full job description, and then I can see that matches have been identified. So I see it's a very strong match here. I see details about this particular candidate. I think, okay, yeah, I agree with that. I'm going to select those candidates. I can also filter down further, so I might be looking for a candidate from a particular company, particular location, job title, etc. So if I selected these, it now gives me the option to request a referral. Now I'm shown, for each of these individuals, which of my employees are connected to them. So I might think in this particular occasion, okay, well, I've got 3 employees who are connected to these individuals. I'm going to increase my chances of getting a referral by emailing each of them. Continue. And much like everything else in the platform, all of the comms, like templates, are saved in your settings file. So from your perspective, really quick and straightforward to run through. Click send. I've now basically, within a few clicks, sent out referral requests to the employees in respect of the candidates that I think would be a great fit for that job. Before we flip to the employee view, I'm just going to show you a few other features on the HR view. So you get to see all of your referrals in one place, all of the referrals that have been made. At the point of application, you get to see exactly where they stand, and that's done via the integration with your ATS. You get to see the leaderboards in more detail on the individual and department basis, and I'll explain that in a bit more detail when we get onto the employee view. And I talked about the analytics dashboard. So as I mentioned, we basically try and record everything for you, and you get to customize this dashboard with what matters most for you. But we see sync rate in terms of the number of connections that have been synced with the platform, the total number of contacts month on month as that goes up in the platform, referrals per month, key metrics obviously such as application, interviews, and hires. And what a lot of companies actually find quite helpful is it shows you the users and the activity by department, so you can start to understand how well it's performing in different areas and perhaps focus a bit more on the areas which aren't doing quite so much. So now I'm going to change over to the employee view. So again, the employee will have their onboarding steps. They know exactly what to do when they join the platform. They sync their they sync their connection on day one, but obviously they gain more connections over time. So this button here basically allows them to refresh their connections so that any new connections can be incorporated into the platform. They get to see the leaderboard from the employee perspective and also from the department perspective. Completely up to you as to how you want to play it. Some companies prefer to go with the department leaderboard, others prefer the employee leaderboard. Both work well. So what you're seeing on the left-hand side of the screen is the referral request that we've just generated from the HR view. So obviously, because it's now my connection, I get to see the personal information. I get to see that it's Rupert. And I'd see a picture in real life. I might think, actually, I disagree with my HR team on this occasion. I won't refer. And then it will ask me why. I don't know them well enough. I don't think they're good for this company. I don't think they're good for this role. So from a HR perspective, you get a picture as, okay, is this somebody that shouldn't be considered in future? Or is it just simply because they don't know them well enough? But if I thought Rupert was fantastic for this job, I'll click refer this candidate. And then I have the option to basically send it out via email, LinkedIn, Facebook, WhatsApp, and Twitter. In each case, when you click on those sharing buttons, it will pop up with a pre-written description about that job. Makes it really straightforward for the employee to engage with the referral request. In addition, they'd be emailed the referral request, so they wouldn't even actually need to log into the platform to action it. So that's the first key way that employees can refer using the platform. The other is more proactively referring in respect of the computer-generated matches. So if we click on the marketing manager role again, I get to filter in exactly the same way the HR team does. I'll scroll down, I might think, okay, well, I think that my HR team have missed a trick here. I know Mammy, and Mammy's fantastic, and I think it'd be great for this role. So I've clicked these two candidates that I thought would be good. And again, I can send it out using the easy sharing features. Makes it really simple for me to action it. And the third and the final key way that you can refer is you might have somebody in mind. I might know that Donovan is the perfect candidate for this particular job. I don't even need to look at the matches. So I click the share button and then send it directly to Donovan. And in each case, you know that everything you're doing is sort of being rewarded on that referral leaderboard. So I talked about the gripe earlier that employees don't feel like they know what happens to their referrals. They go into a black hole. So they have this Your Referrals section here, which basically shows all of the referrals that they've made, and if they're in the application process, it will show them here. Again, if they're hired, it would show them here. And what we do at the point of application, the employee who made the referral will be sent an email asking them specific questions about the candidate they put forward. This is an example. How well do you know that person? Have you worked together? How suited for the role will they be? I appreciate that certain companies will want to ask different questions, so we make this customizable. So if there are particular things that a HR team wanted to ask, we'd include that here. But it means that the HR teams have a very clear picture as to what that referral means when it finally comes through for application. And the final key feature is the leaderboard functionality. So we basically award points for all of the actions which lead to the referral. And this is just an example of the point scoring. Again, completely customizable as to how you want to do it. But we said you get a point for each referral that you send out. You get 100 points when you sync your connections with the platform, 200 points when somebody applies for a role, 500 for an interview, 1,000 for a hire. And we find that most of the companies that we work with tend to award prizes on like a quarterly basis for the top 3. I'll give you an example here. But, it just shows you that actually, Fred Patterson, who's in third place, has made 89 referrals. He's only actually made one hire, but he's actually, because of all the actions he's taken, because of all the good candidates that he's actually bringing in, to the recruitment funnel, he's being rewarded for that, and subsequently he continues using the platform. And then, if you wanted as well, as I mentioned before, you do it on the department basis as well. And that works quite well, because what you find is that you get quite a lot of buy-in from the heads of when you do it on a department basis, and they tend to then encourage the people in their team to make more effort. So that's a sort of whistle-stop tour of some of the key features of the platform. I will close this down and then just show you a testimonial from Lloyd's Pharmacy, who we're currently working with at the moment. And I suppose if anybody has any questions, yeah.